Hey, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Theta. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. You should do your own research before investing money into crypto. If you haven't seen the previous update, make sure to watch that before watching this one. It's going to be in the top right-hand corner. Watch that so that you have more context, as I'm not going to be repeating a lot of the stuff that I said in the previous update. Also, if you want to support Ukraine, there are two donation links down below in the description. Feel free to go over there and donate through the funds if you have the opportunity to do so and you're willing to do so, of course. Thank you all for watching and thank you all for supporting the channel. Let's get straight into the video. So jumping into the daily chart, in the last update, I did give a technical target here at $1.96 on the dot here, which was very close to the white resistance trend line that we were targeting in the last video on August 12th. But as you can see, we haven't reached that target. We saw a deep pullback for Theta. We dropped down more than 30%. So this was a very good buying opportunity in my opinion, and still is. I was telling you that the 20 EMA and the 55 EMA are great support levels, but obviously we dumped down below those and we actually landed on one other support level that I gave you in the last video. We're going to take a look at that on a different chart on Binance's website. So what we have done here essentially is we dropped all the way down to these levels over here. Let me get the brush for you. I can't get the brush for some reason. So we dropped down all the way to these levels. So you started your retracement from here, you went all the way up, and now you're coming back down to where you came from. That is a very typical scenario for a little relief rally. Now, the important thing for us is we don't want to lose this low here that we created on June 13th. If we do that, then our 1.618 target to the upside is off. We're not going to be taking a look at that target anymore, because if we lose this low, we're going to see more targets to the downside and no one knows where we're going to end up dumping. But I did give you this support level many months ago on 76 cents, or 77 cents I should say, which is where we peaked here in September of 2020, where we had a little bit of a pullback and then we entered the bull market from there, obviously. So retesting this previous resistance as support would be very important. And if we started dumping and we saw another huge capitulation in the markets, this would be my bottom, guys. This is where I would expect Theta to bottom out. Potentially you could see a couple of wicks below, but generally speaking, I think this is where we're going to bottom and we're going to start the recovery very quickly. But I don't know when that is going to come. I don't know if that is going to come at all, but it all depends on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin starts dropping below $18,000, below $17,000, then 77 cents per one Theta token is a possibility that I'm looking at. Now, if you want a quick little swing trade, then the 20 EMA on the daily chart would be a great level for us to back test as resistance. Also, the 55 EMA here and the golden ratio. I gave you all of these levels as support in the last video, but now they have flipped to resistance. So if you want to be swing trading, these are good levels for selling and buying back lower. So if you see yourself come up to these levels, you could potentially take some profits and buy back in once you start coming back lower. But be careful with swing trading. Obviously, you do not want to sell earlier than you should, because you could sell, let's say, at the golden ratio, but we get some bullish news in the markets. You get just a little bit of a pullback, just a bit shy of your buy price, and then the markets completely flip into the bull mode, and Tesla starts accepting Bitcoins once again, or something like that happens, and we see an absolutely strong move to the upside. That is always possible, so always have that in the back of your mind. But generally speaking, if you see an asset get overextended from the 20 EMA on the daily chart, just like we were getting overextended over here, it is a good time to potentially take some profits and buy back off the 20 EMA or the 55 EMA. And as you can see, we plummeted through the golden ratio that I gave you, and we went all the way down to this low that we created in July of this year. Now, let's quickly take a look at the Fibonacci retracement that we're working with. So we had a smaller one here, which is The low was basically June 14th, and the swing high was June 27th. So we got our 1.618 target just below the resistance here, the white trend line. But the larger Fibonacci retracement that I have on the charts. So this is basically the low that we created in June over here, and the high that we created back in April of this year. So based on this Fib retracement, your technical target for the next bull market is $89. And I think that is something that we could potentially get to, because in the next 2 years, the markets are going to appreciate so much. It's going to be crazy, to be honest with you. So 7,500% gains, I think that is possible for Theta. I think that is actually doable. And considering the fact that since April of last year, you have been in this downtrend, at some point, you're going to have to reverse the trend. You're going to have to break major resistance levels, and you're going to get to your technical targets. Now, there's no guarantees that you're actually going to get to the $89 mark, but more often than not, after breaking the first fib level here, which is sitting at almost $16, you usually retrace all the way up to the 1.618. You do have two resistance levels before that, the 1.414 and the 1.272. You could take some profits at these levels as well, but this would be my major target. And never have these sell orders at the exact price of the level. I would have them somewhere below, just so that you have more chances of getting your order filled. And let's say you take some profits in these three areas, and then you can look for a nice buyback here at $15 when we have the next big capitulation, because, you know, everything goes in cycles. You're going to see a move to the upside. You're going to see a move to the downside, a move to the upside, a move to the downside. So after we get to these levels, you're going to see, you know, 90% pullback, almost certainly, I can tell you. Now, jumping into the daily RSI here, as you can see, we did bounce off of this support level that I gave you. So anywhere from 34.8 to 26.8 on that daily RSI, you have a great buying zone. So every time you enter this zone, you do have a move to the upside. So just like we did over here, once you bounced off this zone, as you can see, August 28th, let's take a look at the price action for that to compare. So August 28th, so basically from here, you could have bought in and you would have seen a nice 10% appreciation in price if you were longing the markets or if you're swing trading. But look for the 20 MA as resistance. I think that's the most likely resistance level that is going to reject us to the downside. Now I do want to switch over to the Binance website. Switching over to the Binance now on the daily chart, as you can see, we do have this sideways channel that we broke from in August, and now we're pulling back down. And as you can see, we landed on the dot on this support trend line. So as you can see, this is a very, very strong support level that is holding us off. And if you entered from here, you would have seen a nice 10.5% increase in price, which is incredible, because I told you this, I gave you this in the last video, and if you listened, or if you did your own research into the project and into the charts, you would have seen that this is a very good level, because every time you bounced off of this, you saw a nice appreciation in price. And the same thing could happen right now. We could run into the 20 EMA, we could run into the second fib level here, and we could get rejected back down potentially to the 2.272 or back to this bottom here and create a nice double bottom pattern. No one knows what's actually going to happen, but you just have to buy off of support levels. Dollar cost average, that's the best that we can do. And we're rocking a different fib retracement over here. If you take a look at the swing high here and the swing low in July. So basically, I took the high from September of last year and took the low from July last year. We got the 1.618 target at $1.86 and the second fib level at $1.25, and the 2.272 is at 95 cents, and we have bounced from that level perfectly. So potentially, I'm hoping that this is our bottom and we do not lose this level, because if we do, that's going to be negative and we're going to see more targets to the downside. We're going to have to lay down the fib retracement. But for now, it's looking all right, in my opinion. For example, let's say if we lost this low we're going to take a look at some targets to the downside. So basically the 1.618 here aligns with the 2.618 of the large fib, and that would be your technical target if you start losing the low that we created here on June 14th, 2022. And the target is at 66.5 cents. So that would be your, capitulation target. So from where we are right now, that would be another 44% pullback from where we are right now. So yeah, that's a hefty pullback, but that would be a brilliant entry point in my opinion if you're looking to buy for the long term. But that's an if. Obviously that would only be our target if we start losing this low at 95 cents. And for now, I don't see that happening unless Bitcoin starts dropping below $18,000. Thank you all for watching. If I missed out anything important on the charts, please let me know down below in the comment section. Feel free to follow me on Twitter. Feel free to join me on Patreon. I do drop in my trade alerts, low cap gems, project reviews, your TA and video requests as well. All the links are down below in the description. I'm going to catch you in the next one. Goodbye and good night.